Ahoy peeps! I don't know quite how to ease into this topic smoothly, and I've only actually got a limited amount of time, so platformers. With games such as Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy, Little Nightmares, and just a bunch of great 2D indie platformers getting the attention on the market at the moment, I feel the need to talk about some issues I have with those games. My main issue is actually the platforming mechanic. Yes, apparently I don't like the platforming mechanic in platformer games. So what's my issue with them? They're frustrating. Don't get me wrong, a lot of these platformer games actually try to be hard and succeed, but some of these games, they just seem a little too punishing for just the simplest mistake you make, man. Floaty controls and lack of precision, that will keep on being the ultimate frustration to me. But yeah, boo-hoo, platforming's hard. Oh god, that's a thing we didn't know before. That's because I don't actually want to talk about 2D platforming here. I want to talk about the bigger issue here, 3D platforming. So I bet you're wondering, so what's the problem with 3D platforming then? Oh, well, that's quite simple, the 3D part. And as example, I want to talk about games like Little Nightmares. I absolutely love this game. It's so unique, and the art style just looks like a Miyazaki concept gone bad. The story is mysterious and intriguing as heck, and I rate it a 5 out of 10 on the spook scale. My only problem really with it is the controls. Don't get me wrong, I actually like how the game at tense moments require precision and a bit of platforming for gameplay like in this scene. But when the platforming results in something like this happening...
Oh god, oh god! Oh god, I almost did it again! If I did it again! Then, okay, yeah. Why is it so easy to do that?
And I've got a problem with it. It just feels like since the dawn of 3D platforming, then the actual platforming mechanic in those games, it's just been a little bit messed up. And that's usually because the player fails to judge the depth of the game and therefore not being able to see how large a gap actually is and usually just fall to their death because they don't know how far they need to jump. And that just makes platforming a whole lot harder. Let me just say, there's a reason Dark Souls players have acrophobia, because they had to go through this. This area is infamous amongst the Dark Souls community, and guess why? It's because it requires platforming. And the way the camera is placed just does not allow for very good depth perception. Jumping or being precise in depth towards or away from the camera is so hard. So if a game tries to retain the fun, challenging, and maybe already a bit too hard platforming of their fellow 2D games, but add even more punishment by adding awkward camera angles and perspectives that the player just can't calculate or predict with skill, then that's just annoying. I'm mentioning the jumping away from the camera part because there's actually an entire level in Crash Bandicoot that's dedicated to just that idea, and oddly enough, then that's one of the most hated levels in the whole trilogy. I don't know why. So just for fun, how do you do 3D platforming then? Well, if I was a developer, then I would personally try to just avoid it. You can still make 3D platformers, but just don't make too much of the game focus on the away or towards the camera part. But if you want to make a 3D platformer with depth in it, then make it either first person or make the camera follow the character very closely like in Uncharted. The further away from the character you're controlling, the harder it is to judge the distance and depth of a jump. But remember, even Uncharted had a lot of safeguards to actually prevent this sort of frustration, by preventing the main character, Nate, from just walking to his death, or by grabbing onto edges if the player nearly missed a jump. Another thing to keep in mind, don't make the camera low, make it head height or maybe even a bit more. Don't be the developer that expects of the player to be able to judge depth from this angle. And with that, then, bam, that's about it. I was actually supposed to play a game while talking about this. I wanted to play the first Sly game because some of the segments in that game are just clear examples of what I'm talking about here. But hey, this'll just have to do. A short, rambling video just to help you waste your time. But anywho, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.